Hi, this is Lynn, and welcome to another Persuasion Byte. Bite-sized tips on persuasion that you can use right away. I say every time I facilitate a training, I learn just as much as the people who are in the room. And this week I want to share with you something that I think is going to resonate for you as well, because we both run meetings and we both prep ahead of time and create agendas and want to get through those agendas in the amount of time allotted. What do we do when that isn't going to happen? I was working with an international bank's loan syndication department, and we were talking about how to have difficult conversations. And I have a process for doing this, and my goal was to help them use this process to do a better job of having these conversations. And we started with investigating and really understanding the person they were going to have this conversation with. We created an avatar. Let's call him Robert. And the first part of that process is to get a deep understanding of Robert's fears and wants and needs and concerns and our relationship with him and how he pushes our buttons and how we push his buttons. And we got so deeply involved in this, it became really clear that we were not going to be able to get through the rest of the process. And maybe like you, I was standing there getting kind of performance anxiety about, hey, I promised I would get these people through this process, and it's taking too long, and we're not going to make it through everything. And then I had that moment of enlightenment of, this isn't about me. It's about giving the people in the room the things that they need. And in this instance, they needed to talk about Robert and better understand Robert and start coming up with their own ways on how to deal with him. And ultimately, I let that go. And I let them start coming up with their ideas on solutions. And I got to tell you, when you let go of this stuff, good things can happen. And ultimately, one of the solutions that people came up with was the idea of, after a loan syndication deal had closed, to pick up the phone and call Robert and do a post-mortem. And I said, okay, let me add some value here. When you're making this call to Robert, tell him that you're interested in what you could have said or done to have made the process simpler, easier, better for him. And listen carefully and take notes. And when Robert's finished, thank him for the insights and promise him that you'll look at these before you do the next deal with him. Because then you know Robert is sitting there waiting for you to say, well, here, Robert, I want to give you some feedback on you. Don't do it. You're just there to get his information. And then, before you do that next deal, sit down and review those notes. And contact Robert and say, you know, I've been thinking about the stuff that you shared with me last time. And I want to make you look like a rock star in front of your client. And I've got some ideas on how to do that. Are you interested in them? Because Robert, who's going to say no to that? Robert will be now more receptive to ideas that you have based on the feedback he provided you. And never at any single point are you saying, and the trouble with you, Robert, is, and making the relationship more difficult. This happens to us all the time when we lead meetings or sessions. We have in our head the things we want to accomplish, and stuff comes up, and it becomes clear that we're not going to achieve our own personal goals or follow everything that's in the agenda. I say notice those times, and instead of trying to force the outcome of getting through everything that you wanted to, do what the people in the group need. And let them lead the way and show you what those things are and support them in reaching the goals that they want to reach. The session will be ever so more productive, and you will become the most persuasive person in the room, creating that better outcome. Thanks for watching.